Hello and welcome back to the video. My name is Andrew Kuhn with Focus Compounding. Thank you so much for tuning in with me here today. If this is the first time that you are watching me over on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button. That will help spread the word about what we're doing here. Also, if you want to get access to a backlog of a bunch of different content all on investing, go to YouTube or even go to the podcast or the Podbean app and just listen to our podcast. We have over 112 different episodes. Some episodes are over an hour long, and it's all on investing in a bunch of different topics, so definitely check us out there. Follow me on Twitter, that's at Focus Compound. I post a ton of different content, but if this is the first time you are tuning in, I really want to thank you for tuning in. So in today's video, we're going to be going over some thoughts I have on improving as an investor. And investing is a very interesting game, if you will, because it's something that you could practice every single day and you only get better as time goes on. If you think about it, Warren Buffett is, I believe he just turned 88 maybe, or 88, 89, and he's a way better investor today than he was even 10 or 15 years ago. It's kind of like compounding, right? All the knowledge that you learn every single day, it really just is cumulative and it all builds up, and you may learn something today that you may not are using today, but in the future it could definitely be worth it. What I mean by that is I always use the example on the podcast how a few years ago I actually was learning about a public home builder, and one of the things I did, which is something that we always recommend if you want to learn a little bit more about an industry, is go and read about 5 to 6 different peers of the company, and then from doing that you'll learn a lot about the industry, and not only that, but you also learn about what is the best company in the industry. So I was reading about a public home builder, and I went and I read probably 5 or 6 other public home builders, and upon doing this little deep dive that I did, you know, it was pretty obvious to tell which was the best business in the home building industry that's public. And not only that, I didn't end up actually investing in a home builder, but actually a couple months ago I revisited the idea, and I was just that much more ahead because I learned about the home builder business a few years ago. So it's pretty cool. All the knowledge that you learn in investing builds up just like compound interest. You know, so which is why I think the most important rule when it comes to improving as an investor, and if you're a Buffett or Charlie Munger disciple, you do know this to be true, is reading a lot. Charlie says that he's a book with a few legs sticking out. That's what his kids call him. And him and Warren, that's pretty much all that they do all day is read. And you know, I think a lot of people know that, and it's pretty hard to put into practice because maybe you have a job, maybe you have a family, maybe you have other constraints that take you away from having true deep work. But if you could do something or structure your life to, even if it's an hour a day, you know, to have a true deep work and do nothing but read, you know, that could be very beneficial going forward. One thing that Geoff has talked about and he's recommended to people is give yourself an hour a day where you just, no matter what, even if you're busy with stuff with your family or with your kids or with your job, you give yourself an hour a day to really sit and have deep work. Put the phone away, put the computer away, get off Twitter, and really just spend an hour to dedicate to becoming a better investor, whether that's reading about your 10Ks, 10Qs, or an investing book. And if you do that, even though it seems pretty minuscule, only being an hour a day, or maybe for a lot of people that's a lot, but if you're able to stay consistent with that and do it 365 days a year, you know, over time you're just going to become a better investor. And it's sort of the way that I try to live, you know, when it comes to persistence, or I guess staying consistent with stuff in life, is it's better to be good all of the time instead of great some of the time. So if you're in the situation where it's very hard for you to find time because of maybe a family or job or your kids or, you know, whatever, just try to be good, right? Sell yourself an hour a day, maybe before work, where that's your time. It's a dedicated deep work time, and really just as soon as you're done with the hour, don't even think about investing to the next day. But if you do that 365 days a year, you know, over time you are going to be okay and only improve. So that's the heart of everything that we do try to do. I would say my goal every single year, I know Geoff, this is for him as well, is to really just try to get better. And it's cool, you know, in the podcast, I ask Geoff a lot of questions that I already usually know the answers to, but I'm just kind of trying to keep the flow of things flowing. You know, but when him and I sit down in person and we sit for a few hours every single day and talk, I really just sit there and listen, because he could just start talking about stuff that's just insane to me that he knows about. But really, it's just because he's been doing this for a very long time, and he's constantly dedicated so much hours every single day, for the past 10 to 15 years, to learning about different businesses and different facts, that it's very interesting, and it's a lot of fun to sit there and just really listen to everything that he knows. So it's, you may not notice it, I guess, in the short run, but over the long term, you'll definitely realize how further you have become if you just work on slugging it out every single day. But with that, improve as an investor, I said read a lot. I think that's the heart of everything that we do, and that's 10Ks, 10Qs, newspapers are good. Again, even if it's not an actual thing to you today, just building up that knowledge bucket and how all the knowledge is cumulative, it's going to help you in the future. Newspapers, books are great. Obviously, we're big readers of books, and even books that, are outside in the investing world. And I'm not talking about like financial theory type of books or how to value companies, but really like business biographies, right? Learn about how the business has started, the culture, the entrepreneurs that took it from being nothing into what it is today. I just got done reading Junk to Gold about Copart, and Quench Your Own Thirst about Boston Beer Company. Those are amazing books to really just learn about the company. A lot of times when I am searching a new company, I always look on the internet to see if there has been a book that's written about the company, because it's just great to read about the origins of the business and really see where it came from to where it is today. I think NACCO Industries, Geoff actually found a book that was written I think a very long time ago, but he found it on Amazon that was written about NACCO Industries and the family that has been involved, and that's always a good thing to do when you're learning about a new company. Blogs, right? And I did put podcasts under reading because I think that's a different form of learning. I guess could be similar to reading, but blogs, right? Value Investors Club. Go read about a bunch of different investors to see the way that they think about things. Focus Compounding. Join our blog. We obviously write about different ideas. We really like blogs where there's a lot of case studies on the blog, and that's the main source of content. Clark Street Value is also a very good blog that Geoff and I both read. But podcasts, right? There's a lot of smart people out there, and podcasts is, in my opinion, made learning cool, right? Because there's a lot of people that are just giving out a ton of free content and really trying to market themselves through the podcast, but you get access to their knowledge. You get access to the way that they think about things. You get access to, maybe stocks that they're looking at. This is all good stuff to know. Investing is one of the things, in my opinion, where you can learn a ton of it through other people's experience and just from other people in general. Go read anything Warren Buffett has ever written. For myself, I've obviously learned a ton from doing my own readings, but I've also learned a ton through Geoff and Geoff's experience of investing. So that's all good stuff to do, which is why I have connect with others, right? And hopefully they're smart investors. Because the internet, whether through YouTube, you could get access to talks that certain investors have given, podcasts. There's a lot of smart investors that go on podcasts all the time. Just use it all to your own advantage and really go and get inside of all these smart guys' minds. But I know I jumped ahead and went directly with reading, but you can also improve on an investor if you have some sort of basic understanding of psychology, right? The biases. Learn about mental models. Obviously, Munger is huge on mental models. There's not too many information out on like YouTube going over mental models. Maybe I'll be the first guy to do it, but pretty much read anything that Charlie Munger has ever written on the topic, and I think that's a good place to start. And then of course the last thing that you need to have is some sort of basic understanding of accounting. You need to understand how the financial statements work together, what they mean. Obviously accounting is a language of business, but really to improve on that, go buy an accounting textbook. Go buy Accounting for Dummies. Go watch YouTube videos of lectures of college professors teaching accounting classes. The point I'm trying to make is that there's just a ton of information out there that if you are very serious and you're very dedicated, that you can use to your advantage to improve as an investor. And it reminds me of when Buffett was asked at, I think it was a college lecture, how to improve as an investor, and he sat there and he thought for a minute, and then he held up a stack of papers and said, read about 500 pages of this every single day. And he said, it's something that all of you can do, but it's something that not all of you will do. So with that in mind, if you're one of those people that will do it, because everyone here can do it, obviously you can get ahead. So I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in with me here today. Definitely check out all of our other content, hit that thumbs up button, and be sure to subscribe for future videos, and I will see you in the next video.